sustain the edge that your team played with tonight for the whole season?
Yeah. Well, I thought everybody was ready to play. I think it's hard sometimes in shorter minutes for guys to, to get a feel for things. But obviously we shot the ball well, and I thought our guys played really hard, and a little bit different for us in terms of like the way they mix things up, and different defenses, kind of different presses, and just mix their looks up. So we just had to move the basketball and try to establish Zach down low, but also while we were moving it, using our dribble once they're in rotations, and then now not forget about him, but also try to get some of those spray out threes. But you have to be on edge, at all times. You got to defend that way, you got to rebound that way, and then also you got to be ready when the ball was loose. I thought we weren't very quick to the basketball in the first half. I thought we were getting all the loose balls and 50-50 balls in the second half.
And you got Lance Jones to be part of the point of attack defensively, and that was evident tonight. How pleased were you with his performance and being able to kind of ignite the offense up?
Yeah, well, I think his effort was great. I thought he played really hard. I thought he gave a lot of his energy on the defensive end, and just got into the basketball and made things hard. Very active, and more than anything, just he had that fight to him and didn't back down from him right away. We had a couple scrapes there right away. There's, you got to have action when those things happen. You don't need to talk about anything. You need to play better. You need to play tougher, and he was able to set the tone for us there.
Hey, Matt, over here. The Samford coach gave you a nice shout out, talked about how you stood up for mid-majors and how important this was for them. What does that mean to you to play these mid-majors and to know that you're helping their programs too?
Well, we're playing them because they won their league last year. I actually watched them a lot because I looked at a guard that left their program. That's crazy, right? But that's why I watched them. And so obviously Greg Gary's in that league. I got a lot of friends in that league. And so we want to play quality teams. And you're not always going to be in that position. You're going to have a little bit of a balance with your schedule. A lot of times people think that you just kind of draft your schedule and you get to pick and do whatever you want, but there has to be another team that agrees to play, and give them credit. Who wants to come into that hornet's nest to start the season? But they had that challenge, and they took it on, and obviously we played well, but he's done a good job there. Done a really good job there. They won their league, and it speaks for itself. Because with Furman and Chattanooga and Mercer and all the teams that are in that league, they have a very, very good league. And so that that's what we want. The team that we're playing on Friday, they won their league last year also. And obviously the game after that we play Xavier, then we go to Maui. So there's no days off. We're just keeping our focus on the team that's next. And but today wasn't their day. They got to make threes to stay in that game the way they play. If they make threes and they set their defense, when you're going to miss threes and have long rebounds, you're just not going to set your defense. And coming from someone who's been through that and had 5 for 31 games, it's hard, right? You get pretty good looks, and the thing for us, I thought our guys were flying around, and we got some pretty good challenges on their shots today.
You always talk about players just being simple and making the right play, and in his first game, that seemed like Cam White, and what do you kind of see from him?
Yeah, I was going to play more in the first half. Miles, had some good things happen. I just kind of let him stay out there, but I thought he did a good job in the first half when he got out there, and he did a really good job of just taking what they're giving. He's very athletic. You see with him and Miles, they both can make shots, and they both give us that athleticism that we need. But I thought he did a good job of taking what they gave him, and he's getting to the glass, which is pretty cool. He missed a couple layups, so he has 13 points in 16 minutes, and he missed 2 layups. But just stretching the defense, just with Zach, and even though tonight Zach doesn't establish himself, they're still overdoing things. Those guys being open all night, he has a part in that. And so if you can play for our team and you can defend and you can rebound and give us energy and then make open threes, you're going to help yourself. You're going to get out there more and more.
Matt, you mentioned having a 5 for 31 night, and you just mentioned how hitting the open threes. I know you're not going to shoot 55% from 3 every night, but that has to be a nice boost for the 7 guys that hit a 3 to shoot that well in the season opener, because your whole offense is predicated around Zach, and those
Right.
guys are going to have
Yeah, you know, going through Zach and also going through Braden's ability to navigate and play off of ball screen action, I would say those two things offensively is where we have our most usage. So just trying to make reads there, depending on what people are in. You know, Zach, you know, he has that turnover early when he dribbles, just didn't have a feel for who was around him. But I think the more that he can get the ball and the more that Braden, you know, can get the ball to the paint, those guys are gonna have more and more opportunities. Because you wanna keep the basketball out of the paint, and then once it does get in there, we just gotta be smart. They wanna put 3 people on the ball, they wanna load up on a ball screen, they wanna have a triple trap. With Zach, you just gotta make clean passes and get it reversed, and then step in and knock down those shots.
Matt, how do you feel like you said, they triple teamed in the first half on Edie a lot. How do you feel like your guards responded to that this year? Is it a show of some maturation that they're a little more prepared to make those adjustments in game?
Yeah, you know, I thought they did a good job last year. Obviously, you know, we want to be more consistent. You know, like we've talked, like we were the #1 offense versus the top 100 in the country. You know, it's like we weren't slouches, you know. But, you know, we had some games where we just missed open shots. And unless you've been through that, you know, it messes with you a little bit. But you got to believe in yourself. You got to put in time. And that's the only way, you know, to have confidence. You know, you got to put in time. I can't give you confidence. You know, you can write a nice article about somebody who doesn't, you know, change how they feel when they step up and shoot a 3-pointer. Like, you got to put your time in. You got to keep putting time in. And, you know, the great ones, when they go 4 for 5, they get an extra shooting. Just like if they go 0 for 5. You know, the guys that are just kind of hanging on, when they struggle, they put extra time in. When they do well, it's almost a celebration, and you can't be that way. You got to just keep putting in, you know, extra time on your shot, and kind of look at it from a game standpoint. Like, where am I getting my shots? Am I getting these at game speed? And if you're just going to sit there and shoot step-in threes, and that's all you're going to shoot, and you're not going to work on how you're actually getting shots. What's crazy about us is sometimes that's the case. Sometimes those are the ones, right? Especially behind plays when they overdo Zach diving.
Kyle and then Brian.
Hey, Matt, talk about Miles and Cam, their athleticism in
Yeah.
a real game besides just practice.
Right. Well, I think you see it when it opens up a little bit more. Obviously, you get on the break. Where we'd like to get Miles to help us is get on the glass. I think Cam has figured that out, that he has to get to the glass and help us. We got to get Miles to rebound the ball more. But they're both shot makers, and they're both people. You know, I don't want their athleticism just to come out when they get a breakaway dunk. You know, we need more rebounds. We need more deflections. You need to do something with that athleticism, and I think they're both growing into that.
So you get 15 turnovers, 15 points off turnovers, probably very easily could add 4 more. How would you assess your team's disruptiveness defensively?
I thought it was good. You know, it just depends on how you're going to attack us through ball screens. We're switching a lot more. We have different rules to it, but like we're switching a lot more when the ball's getting into the paint. Our guys are doing a good job of being physical with that. But sometimes we don't get that switch back, and I think that's something that's going to be important for us to try to, when we can switch back without hurting ourselves. But whether we're doubling the post or we're playing ball screen defense, or you know, somebody just picks their dribble up and now you're going to pressure them. You know, we have to use our length, and we have to just keep tracing the ball and being active without gambling. You know, that's the one thing. A lot of times when people are, we need more deflections. I think we've talked about it enough in terms of, you know, we weren't very good at forcing turnovers, but we were so good rebounding the basketball. Now, when we did turn the ball over, it kind of evened up because we weren't getting those deflections and those turnovers on the defensive end. So hopefully we can. I don't think we're going to be great at that, but I think we can be much better than we were. And if that steals 2 to 3 possessions a game, I think it's worth it.
Anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matt.